So hey guys, it's Julie at Infinite Modesty Design. We have another project here with us today. Our decorative zipper pouch. Alright, so we'll look at the fabric that we need. Okay. We have a long piece of fabric here. And then this fabric, guys, is not a standard here. You could go longer, shorter. There's not a definite that you have to go the exact measurement. Of what I have here. You could always alter your measurement, make it, whatever tailored to you. Okay, so the measurement that we have here, as you can see, is about 22 for the full length. Again, like I said, you don't have to go with that. And then the width we have about 7 inches, yeah, roughly. Okay, you could always make it 6 to 20 and so on and so forth. Okay, and you're going to always have it in half like this. Okay, that's the main goal. All right, so then we have our zipper. So the zipper is about 10 inch for the zipper. Okay, but let's put everything aside and I'm just going to show you piece by piece. So we have now our main fabric is 10 inches and that's the width for the 10 inches, and the height, of course, we have about 7 inches. Okay, so we have the main fabric, the lining, and then we also have interfacing. Okay, and make sure it's adhesive interfacing so we iron it on for this project. All right, so 3 pieces. So we have the interface in itself, it has the glue on the interface, and let's put this aside. Then we also have now another set of fabric here. Okay, let's move the zipper out of the way. So this is how the fabric gonna be. We're gonna join it eventually. All right, so just so you know, it's 10 inches again for the width, and then the height, of course, it's about 4.5 inches roughly. Alright, and that is, of course, for the main fabric, the lining, and the interfacing. Okay, and then we have another piece of fabric here now. So again, the width is 10 inches, so same width for everything, and then the height is about 3 inches roughly. Okay, and then we have again the main fabric, the lining pieces, of course, and the lining piece, of course, and the interfacing, right? And then we have our zipper. So the zipper is about 10 inches. If you had a longer zipper and then we had to alter it, that's fine, but it's about 10 inches. It's almost around the width of the main piece of fabric. So let's move now to the next step. All right, so here we are again. So next thing we have to do here, guys, is to take the interfacing. So we're going to take this interfacing, now we're going to put our zipper aside, and then we're going to put the interface on the main fabric, okay, on the wrong side. So for in my case, any side would be the right side or the wrong side. So the right side would be the outside of the garment where everyone would see. We'll put that on the table, and then the wrong side would be the inside of the garment. So we will take this piece and we're going to iron on the interface on the glue side. So this had to be the glue side that would stick on the fabric. We will iron it on here. So that's for the main piece. We also do this for this piece as well. So we're going to take out our lining and we're going to do the exact same piece, the exact same thing. And make sure this is on the wrong side. Okay, we're going to put it here. So we put the glue to the wrong side and we're going to iron this, and then we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, so we want to make sure that we stable our fabric so it comes out nice and firm for us. So again, we're going to iron this on the wrong side. Alright, so these 3 is what we're going to go ahead and do right now. Okay, so now we are done. So we iron everything on the wrong side of the main fabric, and of course just trim out any extra interfacing around. Just trim it out before you move on. Alright, so just want to make sure everything is nice and clean. So now we have our lining piece here, right? We're matching them up now. We have a lining piece for our for this piece here, right? And then we have our lining piece. So everything is fully iron on. So and then we have our zipper. So let's get to the first project, the first step. So what we're going to do here right now, guys, is we are going to go to the machine. We're going to fold this right side facing you. So this is the right side facing me right now, and then wrong side facing together. We're just going to be doing 2 rows of stitch. Okay, and then we're gonna try to gather it in. All right, so 2 rows of loose stitch, so make sure your machine is on the loosest stitch possible. And another way you could also go ahead and do is with needle and thread, so you can make life easier, just do it with needle and thread. That could be an option, because with the machine stitch, sometimes the thread could bust if you haven't done it for the first time, but if not, then you could go ahead and do it with needle and thread. So there you go. So now we're done. All right, so this is how it is right now. So we're gonna be pulling the thread nice and pretty. Make sure we take the time and pull the thread, but let's just show you here. So this is exactly what it's gonna be. This is exactly where we're gonna be putting our decoration. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna show you right now how we're gonna go ahead and gather everything in. Okay, so this is exactly how it's supposed to be. So on the bottom sides of the 2 pieces, then we're gonna pull it together. As you can see what I'm doing here, it's very easy to break. You want to do the bottom part of the thread. Yeah, so you just want to make sure that you take the 2 strands. Remember, say there's 2 in the bottom, 2 at the top. It's always use the bottom. It's always good to use the bottom thread. It's easier to pull the bottom than the top. Let's put it like that. So yeah, see, this is exactly how I'm pulling it. So you just have to take your time and pull it down. So just as but you have to be gently with it though, so you could get a nice tailored gathered. So you want to pretty much gather it, as I mentioned, to fit this piece that we're gonna put it on eventually, right? And you will see how we're gonna do it. So it does take time. But once you hold the thread steady, I should say, you'll be fine. So you see I'm holding it really firm and I'm pulling it down nicely. So see now again, yep, see how it's supposed to fit. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So I'm gonna do the other side now. I'm just gonna get the thread here, and then we're gonna pull it down just the same. So you see I'm holding it, I pull it nicely, really nice and firm, then I drag it down. So everything would work out just fine. Yep, like that. And I drag it down nicely. So there we go. See, it's supposed to fit really nice right at the edge there. Eventually we're gonna fold in the edge of this ruffle, and you see how we'll do it. Just fold in the edge nicely. But once we ruffle it, we're gonna make sure that we have exactly the length of the that's where we're gonna put it on, the piece that we're gonna put it on. Yeah, so fix it nicely right there, and we're gonna pin it down. Alright, so now you're finished, guys. So you just want to trim out again if there's any extra thread, and now we're gonna seal the sides. Now this part could actually be done before we even do the gathered. I just want it to be flexible and not be too stiff. Well, either way, you could do it before anyway. So we're gonna just fold this down in the edge about 1/4 of an inch, and just kind of tuck it in down. That's pretty much what we're doing. Tucking it down, and then we're gonna pin it down. There you go. And then we're gonna do that for both sides. So this side and this side. So both sides. Okay, so once you're done that now, guys, you're gonna go on the machine, of course, and then you're gonna seal just those edges there itself, right? So I'm just sealing down this side as well, and then we'll go on the one machine and we'll sew it down before we move to the next step. Okay, so right after this we'll go on the machine now. Okay, so now that we're done, so see how it is. So I kind of take out some of the pins, but anyway, you see how the side is here. Alright, so now we're gonna move to the next step. Now we're gonna seal that down, so sew it down. So before we actually sew it down, in my case, I'm gonna add the top piece. Right, so this is how it's supposed to be. So I'm just gonna sandwich it with the pins that I already put in the fabric already. So I'm just gonna sandwich it down nicely. So we're just gonna take out the pin and connect it here, and then we're gonna, of course, add more pins as well. Alright, so now I'm gonna go on the machine, do 1/2 inch. Okay, so now we're in the machine, and I want you guys to see the layers might be very thick. We're just gonna do 1/2 inch down, but it might be a little bit thick because we have, you know, I noticed with my phone, Mama, not 2 but 3 layers of fabric. We gotta take our time and sew it down while we're taking out our pins. Okay, so that's how it is. So now we're gonna trim out this edge here. Just trim it down to the low point as we can. Okay, so it's like this, and then now we are gonna do a little top stitch. So you could actually do it if you want. You could do it before you trim, but it's always good to trim because you want to reduce the bulk here, and then I'm gonna do a top stitch just at the very top here. Okay, so very, very small top stitch. Now you could also eliminate that part. You don't have to do the top stitch. It's not a must. I would do a top stitch because I just want to keep it down really nice and neat. So, right. So I'm gonna do a top stitch right here. I'm gonna do it right like 1/8 of an inch, so really, really close to that edge there. This side, and on this side, see, it's this is how it is. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do here now is just to take out my basting thread here. Okay guys, so the next thing we're going to do here now is just to prepare the lining. So we are just, so we take, because we're taking half an inch out of this, we're just going to take half an inch out of the lining as well. Okay, so the lining piece, I just wanted to make it exactly like this, although you could just get one flat piece as this for the lining as well. I didn't mention that in the beginning, but it's okay. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just go ahead and put right sides to right sides, and what I'm going to do here is pin it down and then just sew it down. That's it, what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so just to sew, because this is the lining, I just want to make sure that everything was cut evenly. Okay, but again, at the end of the day, you could also cut one piece of lining, that's fine, but I'm just going to join this piece down here. All right, so I'm done joining the lining itself. All right, let's move to the next step now. So we have our lining pieces, and we have our main fabric, and we have our zipper. So let's get moving. So now I'm going to take my zipper here, guys. So just move this out of the way for now. I'm going to take my zipper and I'm going to turn it face down. Okay, so I'm going to face it down on this side. Okay, that's where we want it right now. We're going to face it on this side, so the head of the zipper is going to face the main part of the fabric. All right, and then I'm just going to line it edge to edge here. Yeah, just going to line it edge here, so I'm going to bring it up here. Take my like this, and I'm just going to tuck it because I'm going to also go ahead and join the lining with it as well. Okay, so like this, and like this. Okay, then I'm going to take the lining, so I'm going to join the lining right sides facing this. So this is the right side, this is the wrong side of my lining, this is the right side meaning the outside where everyone would see. So right side's touching right side, so I'm going to join it with this. So you know what, I'll actually join the piece that I'm going to join the piece that I joined. Okay, make it like easier. Okay, so I'm just going to join it with it here. So right side's touching right sides, and I'm just going to pin it. So I'm going to sandwich them together, so to speak. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit more pins because I want to make sure that the 3 layers stay nicely. So a little bit more pins. So this is where it can get a little bit tricky, the way you position the zipper. Okay, so put it here. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is to gently sew it down, but I'm going to show you because we have to be careful with the zipper head. Okay, so I'm going to show the machine exactly how we're going to sew it down to make sure we don't break any needle or cause any trouble. So let's go. Okay, so this is our zipper foot here. We'll be using a zipper foot, so we'll be changing the feet. All right, so that's exactly how it is. And then we're gonna take out our regular feet, so it's very easy, and the Singer 4452 sewing machine, and then we're gonna put it in, and then we will start. So there we go. So we want to make sure that our head of the zipper is up. See how it's up here? So you want to start with it. The head of the zipper is up. You want to unzip it at least 1/4 of an inch down. I think I have a pin in the way. I have to take it out. Yeah. That's why it was really hard. So I'll take out the pin. I'll take out the pin, and then I would, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I pinned the pin just a little bit too high up. Okay, so now we're gonna pull this down just 1/4 of an inch, open it down. So this part is very important, guys. Okay, and then we're gonna start sewing the zipper. So watch closely. So the head of my zipper is up, but I pull it down 1/4 away, about 1/4 of an inch down, and then we're gonna sew this part down. Now what you want to keep in mind is that the edge of the presser foot must be an edge of the zipper teeth. So you just want to be conscious of that. So feel your way down as you go. And another thing, again, you want to make sure you know where the head of the zipper is, because you don't want to sew over the head of the zipper. And you would see when I come to the head of the zipper, I would stop and I will zip the zipper back up, and then I will continue my sewing. So there we go. So you see, you just want to make sure you're conscious. That's the thing with zipper. If you're not conscious, you'll just sew anyhow and thinking, you know, I'm sewing. and you're not really doing anything. So there you go. So we're gonna start. So in this party, you wouldn't hear the sound of the machine, guys, just to let you know. I was having issues with the sound, so I decided to just eliminate the machine sound itself. And yeah, so now I'm taking everything out, but I'm still conscious where's the head of my zipper. So you see my hands is still holding to know where's the head of my zipper. And as soon as I come close to the head of the zipper, I stop, then I turn and try to bring the zipper head up. Now if you're having any issue with bringing it up, you could always take out the needle, but make sure the needle is down always, except otherwise, like if you cannot zip up the zipper. Now I bring it down, I know I'm safe, my head is up. Now I'm going to continue making sure that the edge of my presser foot is, you know, is in guide of the zipper teeth, and I'm going to take my time again and sew it down. So I'm continuing sewing it down nicely. There you go. So you just take your time and finish it up on that edge there. Alright. So zipper could be challenging if you don't know, but once you get the hang of zipper, you realize it's pretty easy. Just kind of, you know, practice would kind of bring you to that level of it's easy. It's not so difficult. But there is those little guide you have to follow to make sure the head of the zipper may not be in all circumstances, but in some circumstances like this one, yeah, you got to follow these little rules with the head of the zipper. All right, so let's look. So now this is it. Our zipper is still there now, and then our lining are gonna be on this side, right? So this is one side of the bag of the pouch is done. So the next thing we're gonna go ahead and do now is a top stitch, right? But the other thing you have to do right after, especially for you, you want to definitely iron the project. So you have to keep everything nicely down. The lining and the main fabric on one side. I wouldn't iron in this tutorial here, right? But you need to iron, of course. So to keep everything down, you're going to iron. But I'm going to go ahead and do a top stitch without ironing. But I'm going to make sure that my fabric is taut, just as if I iron. I'm going to also change the presser foot side, just put in another side, because there's two sides, there's two places you could put it for the Singer 4452 sewing machine. So I just switch the sides, so it could help me guide down to do the top stitch. Top stitch might be about, top stitch could be at least 1/8 of an inch. In this case, because I'm just following the zipper foot guide, it's about 1/4 of an inch. So, well, a bit less than 1/4 of an inch, let's put it like that. Not fully 1/4 of an inch, less than 1/4 of an inch. But you're just going to take your time and make the guide, as you can see here, do my back stitch. And I hold in my fabric nice and taut because I want the lining to be in tune with the main fabric. So I'm holding it really taut and steady. But for you now, that's where when you iron it now, it would help keep everything nicely down, and it's easier in your case to sew because it's ironed down. So there you go. All right. Fantastic. Now if you want again, when you finish this part, you could definitely go ahead and iron again. That could be another option. So there you go. So that's how it looks. So let's move on, and this is the back now for the lining part. Okay, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay guys, so now we come to this end now, this part now. So now you want to close your zipper. Now this is very important. So this is your main fabric piece. You want to take your other main fabric piece and you want to sandwich it between your lining like this, right? So when you put it over like this, you will see your main fabric, right? So that's what we're gonna do here. Right, so our main fabric piece here. Okay. So I'm just gonna slightly tuck it in here. Another thing as well, guys, just make sure that you line up. So let me just start this over again. Sorry. So just make sure you line up right here. Okay. And you want to make sure, of course, you come pretty much similar to here as well. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like this for now. So the next part you're going to do, guys, listen. This is the next side we're going to do. Okay, you want to make sure now, so you see this here. I'm just going to turn this here. You want to make sure the right side's touching the right sides. Okay, so right side touching the right side. So find the right side of your lining. And you're going to put it right here. So this is my right side. So, sorry, right sides touching right sides. Okay, and I just sandwich it here. Okay, so everything going to be in between. So now I'm going to just turn it back now. And I'm just going to continue sandwiching it now. And I'll put more pin, of course, so it can be stable. Okay, so now we're gonna sew. So you see our zipper is up. Now we're gonna bring it down about an inch of the waist. It's the same method as the other side. We're just on the other side now. That is the same method. All right, so now I'm just gonna start. Keeping conscious that my zipper head is up, but I pull it down about an inch down. So same method. Okay, so I'm gonna take out all my pin. So this is what I'm gonna do right now. All right, and then I'm gonna immediately. So for you now, then for the first time you wanna iron, then you're gonna do your understitch. Okay, so for me, I'm just gonna straight away go ahead and do my understitch from this side. Okay. So that's how it is. So of course you're gonna go ahead and iron if you have an iron, and then we're gonna move to the very last step now. Okay guys, so now we're done. So this is how it is now. So this is the final step. So next thing you want to do, you want to open the zipper about 3/4 of the way down. So just leave it open. And then what we're going to do is to touch the main side of the fabric right sides to right sides, and then the lining piece right sides to right sides, just like here. So the only little thing is that you want to make sure that you connect your zipper like this. So we're going to line up seam to seam for the edge here. So you're going to make sure that the zipper faces downwards, and then the main fabric kind of touches. So I'm doing it here, and then we're going to pin it first. So we're going to try to see if we could pin it seam to seam. So we're going to try to do. seam to seam. Should put the pin through one seam and push it out to the other seam, and then we're gonna just sit it down. There you go. And then we're gonna do it for the other side, and then we're gonna pin all around and leave an opening. So once you have the zipper open 3/4 of an inch down, and then we pin everything nicely, and then we sew it down and we leave an opening, then we're fine. So you see, just like that, we're gonna be doing the same side, seam to seam. So that's the first thing you want to do first, guys. Make sure you have the seam to seam first. Is that important? All right. So I'm taking time with this just to make sure that you get this part. There you go. All right. And then now we're gonna pin all the way around. Something may feel it may be a little bit bulky because we add so many different things, but it should be fine overall though. Alright, so I just want to pin it down nicely here. Alright, so we're just gonna pin, so I'm just gonna leave about a 5-inch opening. See what I did here? It could be 4 inches, it could even be 3 inches, guys, but you know, just for this video's sake, 4.5, 5 inches opening is fine. So you see I'm pinning all the way around. So I'm just trying to make sure that everything is level nicely. Pinning all the way around. Alright. You could always, you know, pull the fabric in place to make sure everything will just settle down. If you're having any issue, because it's a little bit, it may be bulky, that maybe all depends on the fabric, of course, right? So now you just seal everything down, seal it down nicely. All right, all the way around with the pin. Okay. Alright, fantastic. So now we want to make sure that this part is open there from that part to that part, but you want to sew all the way around. When you reach by the zipper part, you want to walk your way. You don't want to sew, you don't just want to use your hand to walk your way. You will see what I do. I'm going to have this opening here. Okay, I'm going to have this opening here, but we're going to seal all the way around. Alright, so I'm going to start by one of my pin opening here, and I'll finish over here. Walk my way. Just be careful. I use my hand with the trim so that I might devil. You gotta do here. And I want to reverse the same way I want to walk in reverse. And I want to walk, come forward again. I just walk over the zipper, guys. So when you reach over the zipper, you don't want to sew, you want to take your time and just you know, use your hand wheel. So I just speed up the video a bit to kind of go a bit faster. So yeah, so we can kind of get on with the completion of this wallet decorative pouch, let's put it like that. All right, so we're going to the home stretch now. Alright, so you can see again, when I reach over the zipper there, I walk. So it's just in fast motion, but I walk and then I reverse. But everything I did, I just used my hand wheel. I didn't use my pedal. So I walk again, and now I think I'm almost done. So I'm going to continue my sewing until to the very end. Alright, so just make sure you take care when you reach around the zipper part. And then we'll move on to the next step in a bit. Alright. Okay, so that's success. Alright guys, so there we are at the final road. So this is how it is here. Okay, so you want to of course trim any extra thread and stuff like that. So now we're gonna ensure that we push our hands all in. I'm gonna bring down the zipper just a little bit more to make sure I get, you know, no obstacle at all. Remember we had opened the zipper already. Alright, so then before you want to nip the corner here, just make sure you don't nip out the thread. You don't cut down to the seam, I mean. So nip out the corner here nicely so it will be nice and tailored. And then we're gonna knead everything out nicely. Just take your time, that's all. And if your opening is big enough, then you shouldn't have any big set of struggle to take it out. Alright, so pull it out nicely. All the way out. So you're going to poke out the sides. You really have to poke it out really, really nicely. There you go. And of course, once you pull it out, guys, you want to make sure you give it a nice professional iron. Because that's the actual goal. To make sure everything stay down nice and neat. So you see when you zip it down, it looks pretty. There you go. So just to make sure everything's settled and nice, you want to definitely iron it down. So before we're gonna do, of course, we're gonna open it up and then we're gonna seal the inside part, right? Because we still have an unfinished, we still have a part to complete, and once we complete that, then we are done. So yeah, just gonna pull it out, then we're gonna fold it in like this and just seal that part down. Okay, so first you're gonna go put pin again in it, and you run the machine and you seal it down. From there, back stitch, go straight here, back stitch, and you're done. So there we are, we all done. Fantastic. All right, everything is all sealed and nicely, and we are ready for the day. So let's go. Alrighty, so your zipper, decorative zipper pouch could go as a clutch bag, a little pencil case, fancy, a little you know, side personal bag, whatever you want to call it. But there you go, all done. So try it out, see how you like it, and see you in our next video. Again, this is Jaleese at Infinite Modesty Design.